Top of the morning, good afternoon, hello, and welcome back. All right, you've made it to part two. You're very, very welcome. Dermot Buckley here, creator and facilitator of Club Fearless for Coaches, Essentials, and Advanced. All right, we're going to talk about something that is very, very near and dear to my heart. Let's jump in. When I first started out as a new coach, back in the days of the dinosaur and the pager, I thought that the way to get clients was to give them a session, a secret session, and then after the secret session, at the end, pounce on them with, hey, do you want to do some coaching? I charge this, and here's my packages, and I'd roll out the packages before they had a chance to get off the call. Now, needless to say, a lot of people didn't hire me, right? Now, I brought this to my coach about a year later. I brought this to my coach, Steve Chandler, the legendary Steve Chandler. And he said to me, Dermot, are you inviting people into a conversation or are you inviting them into a sales call? Now, I have to be honest with you, listeners. It was a sales call. I needed the money and I needed to get clients. And Steve would often say, do you need the money? And I say, yeah, I do, Steve. He said, yeah, but I want you to decide that you don't need the next person's money. Now, something happened that was interesting. When I said to myself, okay, the next person that I invite for a complimentary session, I'm gonna tell myself, even though in the back of my mind, I was like, I do need the money, which I did at the time. I'm gonna say, I don't need this person's money. And I'm gonna see what happens. Maybe I can do it in a way that I don't have anything on it. Now, I started inviting people into a helpful conversation. I started inviting people into a conversation of possibility, not a sales call. And then I started teaching this in Club Fearless. And the coaches got some great results because most new coaches, myself included back in the day, I didn't know how to get clients. I didn't know what's the process for inviting someone to a conversation? What do you do during the conversation? And what do you do after the conversation? Now, I've outlined that down below. I'm going to talk about it here, but I've outlined it down below there's a link there for the ultimate SuperCoach checklist. Download that checklist. It'll be very helpful to you. And there's a 30-minute audio that goes much deeper into this subject. Okay. So I'm gonna just pull this up here for myself, and my little PDF here, my cheat sheet, and I'm going to share with you how I do it. This is a very simple, it's a very powerful process that I learned from Steve Chandler many years ago, and it works really, really well. I call it the CICP process. And it goes something like this. You are thinking about inviting someone to a conversation. Now, back in the day, I would say, hey, you want to have a coaching conversation? People are like, what's that? Oh, well, coaching is that I use these tools and processes and all these different things. People are like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I do it very differently today. And in a future video, we'll talk about how do you tell people what you do in a way that inspires them to want to work with you. Much later in video, we'll do that too. Don't worry, I'll pop that up for you. Okay, so you want to invite someone to a conversation. You want to create some new clients. How do you do that? First thing is connect. Ask yourself, who do I know that needs help? Who do I know? Sit down, have a cup of tea, and just ask yourself, who do I know is struggling? Think about that person. And if you don't know what that person is struggling with, reach out and ask them. Say, hey, John, you mentioned last week you're struggling with this. Could I invite you to come and have a complimentary coaching session? Oh, what's that? Well, it's a 60-minute session with you and I. I'll take off my friend hat and I'll put on my professional coach hat and I'll ask you questions you've never been asked before. I will challenge you in ways you've never been asked before. I'll listen to you in a way that no one has ever listened to you before. You'll gain some new perspectives, some new ahas, some new insights. You'll get to look at things differently so that you can act differently. And it's complementary. It's just a way that I give people an experience of what I do. I love to coach people. I do it all day long. I help people solve problems all day long. I'm a kind of a life mechanic. Would you like to have a session? Let me see if I can help you. There's no obligation to be part of paying for any more coaching sessions. But if you want to, we can sit down and we can put some together for you if that would be helpful to you. Do you hear the language there, coaches? It's very different than, hey, you want to do some coaching? Well, this is what I charge. You want to see my packages? Which one? Oh, you don't want it? Oh. So first one is connect. Who do I know that needs help? Second, invite them to a complimentary coaching session. Or you don't even have to use coaching session. You just say helpful conversation. That's what I do. I have conversations with people all day long. I'm a trained conversationalist. I know how to ask questions and listen in a way that most people don't. C, connect. I, invite. C, coach. Listen and ask them questions that they have never considered. Listen in a way that they've never been listened to before. Ask them questions that when you hear a client, when you ask them a question and there's silence, that's a good question. Because they've never asked themselves that. They've never considered that before. It's the power of coaching. And then P, propose. Now, not for marriage, maybe later. After the session, ask your client, would they like to do some sessions with you? Say, hey, I think given what you talked about today, let's do 3 sessions. I charge this for coaching, and I suggest we start with 3 sessions at 1 hour per week. Would that be something that would be helpful to you? Now, when I started using this process, more and more and more clients started saying yes. And sometimes, and I'll later video, I'll put up a thing, how to do a professional create a coaching package on the spot, because most coaches have no clue how to do that. You don't show someone a package. You don't go to the doctor and you say, doctor, I got something wrong with me. And he says, well, let me show you my packages. It's $20 for a broken leg. It's $500 for a hernia. It's $250 to replace your eyebrows. They don't do that. They find out what's wrong and then they prescribe something. That's how you do coaching packages. So I hope you enjoyed our video today. In our next video, I'm going to be talking to you about the coaching fee. And please download the ultimate checklist below, because I go into more detail of all these topics. In the next video, I want to talk to you about the coaching fee. Now, is there a right coaching fee? No, there's not. There's no right coaching fee. There's the same way there's no right way to build your business. But there is a right coaching fee for you where you're at, given the skills that you have currently. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next video. So until then, think big, have fun, stay curious, and please take a moment, if you could, to subscribe. There's a lot of coaches out there need our help, and this is a great way to get the word out. Cheers.